Causing a catastrophe is a criminal statute in Missouri, and it's one you may have never heard of. If you Google the crime of causing a catastrophe in Missouri, you'll certainly find the name James Scott. He is the only person in the state to ever be convicted of that crime and serving time for it. Scott was accused of causing the West Quincy levee to fail during the Great Flood of 1993. He was convicted in 93 and sentenced to 20 years to life in prison. He's been locked up for a quarter of a century now. Scott agreed to visit with me on camera for a one-on-one interview from the Jefferson City Correctional Center, and to this day, he maintains his innocence.
I can't sit here and try to convince you or prove to you that I did not break the West Quincy levee, yet they never proved at my trial that I did, because I didn't break the West Quincy levee. The judge said, "We found you guilty on circumstantial evidence." I'm thinking, yeah, I know you did. You know, there was no solid evidence.
Circumstantial evidence means there is no absolute proof of guilt. Hearsay and witness testimony are why James Scott is in prison for life. Hearsay worked for the prosecution in the Scott case, but as soil scientist, engineer, and witness for the defense, Dr. David Hammer says, it was not allowed to try to clear Scott's name.
One of the things that happened that just was absolutely unbelievable, I was asked to tell some aspect of the levee breaking scenario and describe why I thought it was a situation that couldn't have been human induced. And I cited a recently published paper in the journal Science, which is one of the most prestigious in the world. And the prosecuting attorney asked, "Were you part of the research team?" And I said no. And he said, "Were you part of the team that wrote that paper?" And I said no. And he said, "Well, then it's inadmissible, Your Honor. It's hearsay. If he wasn't there, it's hearsay." Well, what kind of a deal is that if you can't even cite peer-reviewed scientific literature?
As soon as he got off the stand, you know, the rope was over the tree and I was done. I was done.
Who do you blame for the failure?
Mother Nature.
After the Great Flood of 1993, Dr. Hammer and other experts analyzed the nearly 1,100 levee breaks along the Mississippi and Missouri rivers. Many experts agree that the West Quincy levee was simply next in line to fail.
Bing, 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 bing. It was number 12 out of 13 and a crest after 90 days of submergence. 6 conditions that were scientifically proven to exacerbate or improve the chance of levee failure all were present at this particular place. The evidence I thought was overwhelming, that it was just absolutely impossible that one person could have broken this levee.
Scott admits to petty crimes, arson, run-ins with the law, and not being an all-around upstanding Missourian when he was younger. He says that is why he's in prison, not for actually causing a catastrophe.
I've done a lot of dumb stuff in my life. You know, stuff that I wish I could take back, you know, undo. But what's done can't be undone. You know, I'm the reason why I'm sitting here today. You know, I'm not doing time for the West Quincy levee, although that's why I'm here. I'm doing time for my past. It's tiring. It really is. You know, it's you know, I prepare for these interviews, but they don't get any easier.
You still have hope.
Right. I'm hoping that one person, that's all I need. I need one person to say, let's take a look at this. You know, there's only 2 people who actually know the truth, and that's God and myself.
Court TV and a New York law firm tried to bring the case forward for a retrial, calling it one of the most egregious miscarriages of justice ever. Dr. Hammer says all the prosecution's evidence, though, has been lost.